Hello, hello, welcome. My name is Madeline, and I'm a master teacher and healer, certified and trained by Tao Academy. And I'm one of the leading teachers at the Master Shah Tao Centre in Sydney, Australia. And we're one of 12 centres worldwide that teach and empower people how to self-heal, accessing their soul power. And we also guide people, train people further on how we can each heal others. So there's a number of ways. Accessing our soul abilities and soul power is one way of how we can offer healing, not only to ourselves, but to others. And also we train people with Tao techniques, sacred Tao power, on how we can heal others, transform our own lives. And we also share amazing sacred wisdom, which has been passed on by Dr. and Master Zhigong Shah. Some of these trainings and the wisdom is about how we can bring out more of our soul's natural, innate abilities. How can we align more and more with our true self? In other traditions and teachings, it may be referred to as your higher self. You know, Master Shah teaches that everyone and everything is made of soul, heart, mind, energy, and matter. There's ancient terminology, words used for that. Shen, Qi, and Jing. Shen is soul, heart, mind. Qi is energy. Jing is matter. So everyone and everything in all of creation is made of soul, heart, mind, energy, and matter. Energy and matter is what makes our physical body. So with this understanding, because this is actually one of the Tao universal laws and principles, it exists, it is so, whether we believe it or follow it or not. So with this teaching in mind, everything has a soul. And the soul is actually the true essence, the true nature, the eternal light being of that thing. So we as human beings have a soul, all of humanity, animals have a soul, all of Mother Nature has a soul, a tree, a flower, a plant, a mountain, an ocean, and even inanimate objects have a soul. You know, lots of people have a name for their car, right? They talk to their car because the car has a soul. A car is made of soul, heart, mind, energy, and matter as well. There's no distinction, no separation with that universal law. So I wanted to share a little bit more on the significance of developing our soul's abilities, aligning with our true nature, and bringing out our gifts more when we open our spiritual channels. We all have spiritual channels. It's not just a select few. You know, there's amazing people on earth doing, you know, readings for people to help guide people, psychics, people with amazing intuitive abilities. But each of us have these amazing intuitive abilities. For some of you, you may be aware of those. You may be really tuned in and working on developing that part of yourself. For others, we may not be aware of that. You know, when I look at my journey over the last 12 years, which really started the very moment I met Master Shah and learnt how to bring out my soul's language. And that completely, you know, transported me onto a new path. It all of a sudden gave me this clear direction and purpose, a massive aha, profound moment for me. And that's when I really started to get into the open spiritual channels training. I could talk a lot about that. I'm trying to give you the essence. Anyway, I'm coming back to, for me, opening my spiritual channels was something very tangible and something I'd had lots of experiences of in my life. I would see the soul world. I would see ghosts or spiritual images. I would hear souls that had transitioned speaking to me. You know, I was having all of these experiences. I could hear God speaking to me, but not all the time. It would just, you know, be quite random. And I didn't really have a full understanding of what it meant and how I could be of service with these abilities. My husband, on the other hand, he had in his heart, he always wanted to be a healer, counselor, help people. So we both started progressing on our spiritual journey from these angles, me with wanting to develop my spiritual channel abilities more and him as a healer. And he always felt like he was blocked with his spiritual channels because he wasn't seeing or feeling or hearing what I was, because we all have a tendency to compare ourselves with others, right? So, you know, one day one of his mentors said to him, you know, your direct knowing channel is what your strength is. Your direct knowing channel is really powerful, and that's where you receive your messages. Master Sha teaches that we have, each of us, all of us, have 4 main spiritual channels. The direct knowing channel is actually the highest. It's, you know, like our intuition. The first level of our spiritual channels is our soul language. So each soul, every single soul in creation has its own unique sound, voice, language. And we train people in a very practical way, using this divine sacred code like a mantra to unlock that sound. When we think, you know, when a baby is born, that baby is speaking its soul language. It's making the sound of its soul because it hasn't learned any other language. It's making the sound that is innate within its own soul. So each of us, our soul language is unique to us, but soul language is a universal language. It's a language that all souls can hear, understand, and tap into. So when we bring out our soul's language, we're opening up the sphere, the field of communication, interaction, aha moments, understanding, gaining wisdom, clarity and guidance. We're opening up this field exponentially. There is another Tao universal law, the universal law of yin and yang. So there is a yin and a yang aspect to everything, from the macro down to the micro. Okay, so this is, again, it's a universal law. So whether we believe in it, whatever our opinion is of it, it exists. There can't be up without down. There can't be a back without a front. So in these teachings, Master Sha says that heaven is yang, Mother Earth is yin. So we're at this time in human embodiment. We have a physical body. We're living our life on Mother Earth. But actually, our understanding as a human being using our human mind can be quite limited. I'm not saying it is for you, but it is, like, realistically, if we think about it. In our human embodiment, if we're relying on our mind or the experiences, our interaction that we only see with our eyes or hear with our physical ears, it is actually limited because Heaven, the soul world, is immense. It is vast. It is yang. It's the yang. It's the bigger than biggest. So where am I going with this? Your soul is the boss. It's the boss over your heart, over your mind, your consciousness, and over your body. Because your soul is eternal. You may believe that, you may not. You may have a different belief system. That's fine. I honor. I'm not trying to convince you. But our soul, if you believe in reincarnation, has lived hundreds or thousands or millions of lifetimes. So it's collected immense wisdom, experiences, training, development over many, many lifetimes. So when we can learn how to listen, to tap into, to tune in to our true soul, our soul's voice, the messages that our soul is continuously sends the message through our heart to our mind. And if we can tune more authentically into that, we are able to live a more soul-guided, soul-aligned life, which means we're living more aligned with our true nature, the true powers, which are actually superpowers, because we have the source within us. We're part of the same source. We can live in more alignment with that, and life can flow more smoothly. It doesn't mean that it's smooth all the time, but our minds can be heavily influenced by our egos. We can be heavily impacted by our emotions. We may not always be in balance. Our soul carries immense wisdom, healing abilities, gifts to share with this world, to be able to be purposeful and serve. So this is one of the extraordinary, significant aspects of developing, opening, or developing much more, because there's no limits, of our spiritual channels. We can learn in a very practical way. It has this amazing framework where we not only learn amazing spiritual wisdom and spiritual courtesy, spiritual law that governs all souls, then we learn simple practices, how to put that into action, how to apply that to enhance our lives, to move forward on our soul journey with more authenticity, integrity, clarity, and much more. To open your soul language channel is the first step. To develop that level of soul communication, receive clear guidance from your soul. That's one aspect of it. The other aspect is everything has a soul. So we can actually have a conversation, an open dialogue to any kind of higher level spiritual being, and honoring whatever your belief system is. You might believe in God, the divine, the source, Allah, different types of deities, goddesses, angels, archangels, Buddhas, saints, shamans, ascended masters. Whatever it is that you believe in, we have the ability to connect heart to heart, soul to soul with any high-level spiritual being and receive their guidance. Ask them questions and receive the answer in an instant. As I shared, when I was younger, I could hear messages from God. I could hear messages from the soul world, but it was more random. When I learnt these simple techniques, this spiritual courtesy and ways of how to connect, how to honor, and how to trust the messages I was receiving, wow, complete game changer, complete life changer. Because I live my life now listening, asking for the higher wisdom, the higher guidance. What is the clearer pathway? What is the best choices for me to make, for myself, for my family, for my physical life, for my spiritual life? I don't have to worry about it. I'm transcending my mind. Our mind is very helpful. We need our minds, but it can limit us. When I first learned how to open my spiritual channels, I grew up in a Christian family. So there was that particular faith and belief that I was exposed to. I learned about Jesus and God, and that was pretty much it. And when I first connected to this training, they were talking about Buddhas like the Monkey King and Guanyin and angels. And I was like, I didn't know who these beings were. And but as soon as I remember seeing a picture, a plaque of guanyin, who is the bodhisattva of compassion, the goddess of mercy. And I saw her image and I felt immediately a very strong connection and attraction to her. There was that soul knowing, right? We've all experienced that. And since that moment earlier on, 12 years ago, when I delved more deeply into this, Guanyin has been a compassionate, motherly figure and guide in my life every single day. I ask her for help, for guidance all of the time, and she responds instantly. I was sharing in a webinar last night that we live, obviously, in the information age. We are very dependent on artificial technology, artificial information. It kind of rules our lives. We've become so dependent on it. It has its benefits, obviously. I'm very grateful for all the technology. Everything is yin and yang, but I feel, we are at a point where our reliance and the control artificial intelligence has on us is dangerous. And this is not to spread fear or create fear at all. It's to empower each of us more and more to actually tap into what is even more significant and powerful. And that is our soul's intelligence and the intelligence of the vast soul world, higher level souls. Because in our training, we only want to focus on the light side, the positive, receiving messages and guidance and help and support and love and light and nourishment from the positive. What is going to help us? What is going to help humanity? What is going to serve Mother Earth? I think I may have lost my train of thought with that one. But coming back to Guanyin, she's one of my spiritual mothers. We have our physical family, our physical mothers, fathers, grandparents, teachers, lots of different teachers. And, it's great to have that physical network and support. Sometimes we can feel lonely inside, no matter who we are. I know I've felt that way. I felt lonely or despair, or sometimes we can lose hope. And having that instant, very real connection to a spiritual father or mother or guide or mentor from the soul world has been really life-saving is a strong word, but it's been an immaculate, majestic, incredible journey. I don't have to rely on my mind, and I'm spending time to develop soul intelligence, which really is going to transcend artificial intelligence and help us to create more love, peace, and harmony within ourselves, for all of humanity, for Mother Earth. I think it's incredibly important that each of us recognize our own soul's potential, purpose, and abilities, and make steps towards bringing those out more. I feel each of us have that responsibility, and we all have that power. So I really believe it will help what is happening, taking place on this planet at this time. It's one way. I honor, there's many ways, you know, and there's people all around the world doing incredible things, offering incredible service. So I honor the many, many pathways that are available to each of us. I honor all of the teachers that are acting as guides and helping people, you know, step into more of their power, into their true, authentic nature. So I'm offering open spiritual channels, the first level of training, to guide you to bring out your soul's voice, your soul language. We can use this as a tool to assist us in absolutely any aspect of our lives. It's powerful. And I'm going to give you an experience because, you know, I could talk. You don't have to believe me. I'm going to speak my soul language now. Feel it. Close your eyes if you can and feel this universal language, connecting and speaking to your soul. Hey hangongashi ongyo yangana maniangarayambo. Gamariare yamariore yamahio. Kanayama hianyama hiayamohi. Gamariare yamore yamahiohi. Yamariare yamariore yamane yamohi. Gamariare yamare yamahi yamohi. Gambari ambore yamahio yama. Gambari amba yamohi yamohi yamohi. Gambari are yamane yamone are. Gambari are ambore yamone are yamone. Gambari ore yamane yamane yamane. Kambai ambariore amane amane. So that is the voice of my soul. And our soul language carries a much higher frequency and vibration than the normal everyday language that we may speak. In this training, we learn how to translate the soul language, to use soul language as a tool to receive messages from our soul or from the spirit world and translate it, get very clear message anytime, anywhere. So that's the first level of training. Later in the year, in both July and October, I'm offering the two next levels of training. The next level is direct soul communication, which is a more accelerated approach to receiving messages. And the final course is developing your third eye, your spiritual eye, and direct knowing channel abilities. So I felt to come on and share a little bit more about how significant this training and development has been for me. I really could talk hours about it. I am passionate about teaching, guiding, leading people using Master Shah's tools and techniques, what he's shared, how he's helped me develop in this way, because it's remarkable and it's for everyone. You don't have to, you know, have already had an experience with intuition or channeling. You don't have to have meditated before. It's for everyone. Everyone has access to this. Everyone can learn this. Everyone can practice this and use it in your life to live a more happy, soul-aligned, purposeful life, to bring out your true potential more and more, and to have immense support from the spirit world every step of the day, every step, each day. So thank you for tuning in. I think I said a lot more than what I intended to. But I really appreciate you staying here, listening. And if you want to find out any more information about the upcoming Open Spiritual Channels training that I'm offering, you can click the link above or below. I don't know where it's going to be. Just look for it or refer to the Master Shah Tao Centre Sydney Facebook page or website. Sending you love, love, love. Thank you.